Hi, and welcome back to Happy Panda Toy Reviews. My name is Rich. To my left, we got.
Eleni.
And on to the right.
I'm Ben.
Yeah, they're back again. Alright, so today we are going to be reviewing the Imperial Lotus Dragon Dunny by Scott Tolson. New 8-inch Dunny releases on October 9th. It's supposed to be the 2nd, but it's now the 9th. So, here we go. Pretty cool packaging. It's got a full color face, really beautiful color palette. The dragon on one side, Imperial Lotus Dragon logo on the side, and then a piece of art I think they used in the Dunny Evolve series, or something to that extent. Maybe it was on a card. I feel like I've seen it before. Standard PVC clamshell, holds it nice inside.
Alright, so just to go over our criteria for reviewing the toy. We start off with concept, followed by packaging, then translation, execution, and finally value. So we grade each of these aspects of the toy on a scale of 1 to 5. So we start off with concept. So clearly, this originally was an idea that came up for the Dunny Evolve series, just as Rich mentioned, and we actually are lucky enough that we have the final stage of the Evolve 3-incher to kind of compare this to. So in terms of concept, I'm moving it a lot. In terms of concept, stop moving it. I think it was a cool idea to begin with for the Dunny Evolve series, seeing the dragon go from stage to stage, and then this, to me, is even like another part of the evolution of the dragon. So for concept, I love it. I give it a 5.
Yeah, you know, the original concept for the Dunny Evolve series was you had 3 different Dunnies that went from the common, the uncommon, to the rare. And it had to be an evolution of design, an evolution of the character that, you know, the artist was creating. And the story behind this one was it was sort of a lotus flower that as the lotus bloomed, eventually it turned into a dragon. So it's the Imperial Lotus Dragon. And normally when Kidrobot takes a 3-inch Dunny and makes it an 8-inch Dunny, it's generally the exact same thing. But this is, again, like Eleni was saying, another evolution in the design. The face is heavily sculpted to show this amazing teeth, the mouth. I gotta give it a 5, because again, it just, great concept, just, yeah, no words.
Alright, well, what I have to say, very similar. I like the idea of the Dunny Evolve series. In concept, however, not a huge fan of seeing an 8-inch figure come out of something I already have a 3-inch for. Maybe if it comes out at the same time as a companion piece, it gives me the option to buy it right away. But a year or a couple years later, to me it says like, oh, people like this, we need to come up with a design real quick. Let's throw this at them and see if they'll buy it. Now, set that aside and let's put this into the Evolve series. I really do like the concept of the Lotus Dragon. It was one of my favorite pieces in that set. It growing into the dragon was really cool. When I pulled it, it was my first chase out of my case. I got super ecstatic to get it. This is another evolution of it. The idea behind the Evolve series was the first one had no accessories, no sculpt. The second stage had an accessory, no sculpt. The third stage was a fully sculpted Dunny. With the fourth stage, which is what I'm going to call this 8-inch one, not only do we have a bigger 8-inch version of the Dunny, we have a brand new sculpt on it. In addition to just having little spines, maybe a little extra on the nose here, we got fully realized wings. We've got sculpted scales on the ears, sculpted eyebrows, nose, teeth. Concept, I'm going to give it a 5.
Alright, next area.
Moving on to packaging. To me, this is what packaging should be. I feel like it's exciting. It really conveys the tone of the toy. It conveys the feel of the toy. You really get a good look at the artist's aesthetic and what they're trying to achieve. And yeah, it's clear, it's concise, to the point, you know what you're getting, and it's also fun and exciting. So I give this packaging a 5.
I'm also going to go with a 5. Again, the art, it's the exact same art. It doesn't really deviate from it. So if you look at the box, look at the toy, you know what you're getting. On the back, it's got Dunny coming out of the lotus. The colors are a great color combination, which again, he used before, but it makes sense. They pop. I think it's beautiful. And even the font that they use for Imperial Lotus Dragon, I don't know if that's a font that was found or if it's something that Scott drew himself, but I think even the letters are beautiful. 5.
All right. Gonna be pretty much more of the same. I really like the packaging. It's got kind of what's become Scott Tolson's signature trademark with the Argyle across the top, so instantly recognizable as his design. Also, it's the Dunny straight up as is. The thing that no one else mentioned yet that I really appreciate is you have this art on the back that is the Lotus Dragon Dunny. It's the Dunny emerging from the Lotus flower. I really appreciate that because if you weren't around for the Evolve series, it gives you the ability to kind of say, hey, what was this? And maybe someone can explain it to you. Or when you go back and find the Evolve series later, it gives you a tie-in to an 8-inch Dunny that you might have picked up as a later collector. That's kind of a cool little thing. It gives a nod to where it came from and ties it in a little bit. Again, also, yes, the Imperial Lotus Dragon font, that is amazing. I want to go to like Szechuan Dragon and eat some food or something.
It's also a face. Like the top of the logo, he made little eyes, and it's the dragon whiskers. So like even the logo looks like a dragon face.
Yeah, it's very well done. I am a fan of logos, and this is no exception.
Great package design. Great
5.
package design. Great package design.
The next category is translation. So translation normally has to do with taking the 2D rendering or the art that the toy is originally based on and judging how well the piece translated from 2D or original art format into the toy that you see in front of you. I haven't seen what this originally was based off of.
The vectors that Kid Robot provided, that I'm assuming is what Scott Tolson gave to them, and whether they worked on that, refining the design. It didn't show wings. It just sort of showed pretty much what this looks like. You really couldn't understand if this was going to be a solid plastic or if it was going to be clear. And again, you really had no idea that there were going to be wings until they actually showed pictures of it with wings. But it was something that I heard Kid Robot saying that they wanted to do the dragon with wings, whether it was something Scott really wanted and that they were on board with. But yeah, concept-wise, the only thing we really have is kind of exactly what it looks like from the vector art, like to a T, but you don't really get the concept of the wings until you actually see photos of the real thing. Or you kind of go off of the 3-inch that has already been created.
Is that what we do? Do we just go off the 3-inch?
He did do a
as
print
translation?
that has an actual dragon on it, and the dragon that he did on the print, the elements of the face look like it, but obviously he made the dragon look like a dragon.
Alright, well, so should we treat this as the original source
Yeah,
material?
we can go off of various items. We can go off the Dunny, the parts of the print, and then the vectorized line drawings that Kiroto provided. We could sort of do a mishmash of all 3 things.
Well, I'm gonna judge it off of this 3-inch, and they started off with the sculpted texture on the ears on the 3-inch, and then they kind of went with it here. What I like that they changed is there's a gradation in the green on the texture here, whereas here they just kind of kept it a solid green. I feel like that's a really great touch, a very nice addition. I like the textural difference in the plastic they used here around the ears. I feel it adds a lot, whereas here it's again just the solid vinyl. So this was a great, really amazing 3-incher to get. I feel like the 8-incher is an improvement on it. So to me, translation is also a 5.
Again, taking into account all 3 items, the original Dunny that this was based on, the print that Kid Robot released at San Diego Comic-Con, and the vectorized drawings that they had that they were handing out to retailers to say, hey, would you like to buy this and carry it in your store? They really kind of created something that has elements of all 3 in a very amazing way. So I would have to say 5.
I'm gonna vary a little bit on this one. Reason being, I feel like it is supposed to be another evolution of the smaller 3-inch dragon. The 3-inch dragon has on the back the spines. We do not see the spines on the back of this one. Instead, we get wings. And if you look at the little extensions on the ears, they go all the way up the ears. While here, it is cool. And I do appreciate the fact that they're clear and it gives something different versus this. They're very short and stumpy. As an evolution of the dragon, I would think that as the dragon gets older and bigger, maybe these things will become more pronounced.
Maybe he shed them. Maybe this is little baby dragon, and as he grows older, like a snake sheds his skin, he sheds the spikes and the longer ear thingies.
It's possible. It's just how I view the translation of it. And again, I have seen what it came from. I think they did a fairly good job on it, but rather than giving it a full 5, there's things I would have liked to have seen translated into the final piece. So I'm going to give it a 4.
I do wonder though, you were talking about the spines on the back. There's 3 markings on either side. I wonder if these are those spines, if they're less pronounced on the big one, or if it's something completely different.
Well, what else would it be?
I don't know.
Water dragon?
Gills
Yeah,
on
well,
the back of his head.
it is an Asian style dragon with the whiskers. I mean, a lot of those dragons were like, they were creatures of like, they represented rivers and oceans.
So they would have gills on the back of their head.
Okay, dragons aren't real. I don't know. Moving on. Glossing over.
All right. The 4th aspect we're going to review is the execution. How well is the toy put together? How well is it made? How about the paint application? All those sorts of details. I think this is an awesome toy. I mean, the paint on it is really amazing. It's so much great detail. I love the execution of the wings. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. There's really nothing that I would change about this toy. To me, it's such a perfect representation of what that next level would be of this little guy. And, you know, it does what good toys, good designer toys do. You want to hold it, you want to touch it, you want to just look at it all day. So to me, this is a fantastic execution on a really great design. And again, I just love the way this texture is on the ears. I just want to keep touching it like a crazy person. So to me, this is another 5. I'm being incredibly generous today.
You know, I do love it as well. You know, again, with Kid Robot stuff, you can sometimes, they do some of the best quality control, but again, nothing is ever going to be perfect. A lot of this coloration is really, really good. There's no chunky paint. There's no fingerprints. There's no hairs or misalignments. I mean, you have so many layers of color being right here. There's greens, there's whites, there's pinks, there's reds, there's different colors of teal, and every color really pops. It's really well put together. Every aspect of this dunny is a new part. The body is a brand new body because it's got to have where the wings attach. The head is a completely new sculpt. These little ear horn things, the wings, it's all new. The hands are standard dunny hands, but quite honestly, no factory is going to use, if they're making a brand new body, they're not going to reuse old arms. So they probably even have to redo the arms for this. So, I mean, it looks really, really, really good. I honestly do love it.
Super clean.
It's one of those pieces where you look at it and you're like, wow, I really want that. So I'd have to give it a 5.
All right. For execution, agreed. They did a really good job. The gradients from the light yellowish green to the darker greens all the way down the ears is really well done. Packed in the solid color in the pinks and the greens in the face. Super clean on the eyes. Yeah, I mean, I really can't say anything negative. Pick it apart at all. The wings are great.
No air bubbles.
No air bubbles. I mean, for those of you guys who remember, they're very reminiscent of the Sam Felt wings out of the Apocalypse series. They're very clean looking. I mean, no, it's not the same style or shape, but the way that the clearness of the wing themselves is, I get that same sort of impression, and I love it. I like the elements of the lotus flower both on the back of the head and on the chest. Yeah, I gotta say it's a 5.
All right.
Okay, so last but not least, we have value. So the way we kind of judge value is, is the item at its money? Is it exactly what it's worth? Is it an amazing deal, or is it overpriced and not worth the price of admission? So this dunny is $100, which, it's a little higher than what we've been used to in the past for 8-inchers, but to me, it's at its money. This is what this dunny is worth. I feel like there's a lot of sculptural elements here. Besides the face and the sculptural elements on the ears, you have these beautifully cast wings, which I think they did a fabulous job with. It's a great dunny. It looks great. $100 is what it's worth. So, what do we put that at? Is that...
See, that's where I'm kind of thinking too, because again, $100 for Kid Robot is actually pretty good. I wonder if they didn't want to make a giant profit on this one. Because this very easily could have been priced at $120 or $125, but they went with $100, probably because they realized if they put it at $125, a lot would sit on the shelves. Again, I think $100 is a good value, but $100 is still a lot of money for people to swallow these days. I mean, unless you are a completist collector, or unless you're a high-end collector, $100, and then you have to find a place to put it in your house. That again, it really is a highlight showcase piece. See, that's the problem. I think normally it would be more expensive, but it kind of is its money. So I don't really know what that is. 3.5.
4?
See, again, I'm not in love with the price, but I'm in love with the fact that Kid Robot would have charged more in the past.
I feel like it's spot on though.
Well, yeah, I think spot on should be 3 stars.
Then what would be 4?
4 would be like, oh, you're getting a good deal. 5 is it's a steal.
All
2
right.
is it's a little overpriced, and
Okay.
then 1 is you are paying way too much for this.
Okay, so I'll agree with that. I give it 3 points. It's right on its money.
Yeah, I'd go 3 as well.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I've gone over all the points here, and honestly, it's right at its money. Maybe you're getting a little bit of a good deal on it. It is a dunny that has a lot of sculptural elements to it with what Kid Robot's been doing, and it kind of set the market value at. This is kind of what you get for $100 in an 8-inch dunny nowadays.
Yeah, it's
what
hard.
It is.
Like $100 is a lot of money for people to spend. It's not a drop in the bucket these days. $100 is a lot for collectors, because it's not just everyone out there isn't a millionaire that collects dunnies. The whole point of this art movement is it's for everyone. Whether you're middle class, whether you're down on your luck right now, people love to collect this stuff. $100 is hard to swallow. But again, normally Kid Robot would charge way more for something like this. So that's why it really, I don't know, it should be higher rated, but I don't want to just say this is the best toy ever. All right, so would you buy it?
Yes, I would definitely buy it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm on the fence with it. As much as I love the 3-inch, I've recently whittled down my collection to certain genres or certain artists, and it's really hard for me to have an 8-inch figure that I instantly don't have a spot for it in my case. I really love the piece. Whether or not I'll pick it up, probably have to wait till release day and see what the impulse says. I'm gonna lean towards yes, but we'll see.
Final thought is there's also a Kid Robot edition of this figure, which we don't have because we're not Kid Robot. And that one, a lot of the tans are various tones of gray, and then the wings and these little horn bits are an actual really deep orange. And then the actual lotus flower in the back is a combination of, I believe it's greens and oranges. And then a lot of the parts that are this pink color are various tones of browns. I was just curious on your thoughts on the Kid Robot colorway. Not to go into all the 5 steps, but general concept.
Comparing and contrasting the two, this is definitely my favorite of the 2 colors. Honestly, the color combination on the Kid Robot exclusive is not something that I'm visually attracted to. I feel like those colors, maybe not the best combination, whereas when you look at the colors on this dunny, it pops where it needs to pop and it blends away where it needs to blend. It just has a really great body to it, and I don't feel that same cohesion from the other colorway.
Yeah, that was just something I wanted to touch on because I really like the orange. Like on the back, the Lotus Flower on the Kid Robot edition looks a lot better than this Lotus Flower. Not that it doesn't look good, it just seems to pop in its various colors kind of working together. And I really like the orange wings, but the face being various tones of gray, and then a lot of the eyebrows and the little whiskers and nose being like this weird two-tone yellow brown. It seemed like the whole Dunny was really coming together, and it could have been even better than this one. But then the grays and the browns with oranges and greens, it seemed really weird and out of place.
So you like this one better coming than going, but you like the other one going rather than coming.
I have no idea what that meant, but
You like the back on the other one, but you like the front on this
I
one.
like the potential that other colorway could have had with the oranges, because it's a lot of teals and pinks. This is an amazing colorway. Everything goes together. I really was going to be like, oh, how great would it be, to have the two of them, to have this dragon collection. But the Kid Robot one just sort of vaguely falls short. Again, I don't know, it's browns and grays.
I was a fan of the colorway. It looks nice, but this is more traditional when I think Lotus Flower, and that's what this is supposed to be, the Imperial Lotus Dragon, this says that to me. The colorway did not. However, if you guys get a chance to check it out, you should. Also worth noting and checking out is Scott Tolson did a whole bunch of custom colorways for a one-off show that he put on
At Roto Fuji.
at Roto Fuji, and he did some amazing
Those look
pieces.
good. Yep.
Definitely take the time to look at them, because it just adds to the piece and kind of tells you how great the sculpt is, because putting it in just about any color really works for it.
Yeah, both of those customs were way better than the
Yeah.
Kid Robot edition. And it just really made me think, like, how great would it be just to have this amazing dragon clan? Just have all these different dragons that Scott Tolson could do for everyone. Buy this $100 figure and then have him customize it to look even better and have no money left over.
Who needs to eat
Yeah,
nowadays?
who needs to
anyway?
eat? I mean, you get really hungry, you can just lick it. And I'm sure you get some sort of psychedelic high. No, you won't. Please don't do
Please
that.
don't do that.
Please don't
Do
do
not
that.
attempt to link your
Do not
dummies.
do it. It will just be bad for you. No.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer, sorry.
So in overview, Dylan gives this a 4.6 out of 5. Rich as well gives this a 4.6 out of 5. And I give it a 4.4 out of 5. Very high marks for what I would say is a great Dunny.
Oh, totally. 100% agree.
Yeah, go get yours as soon as it's released. They are available at Happy Panda Toys in downtown Las Vegas, or on our website, happypandatoys.com, or please go ahead and support your local toy shop.
The alternate colorway is available on kidrobot.com, and then Kid Robot will bring it to New York Comic Con, and I heard maybe DesignerCon if they still have some left over. So if you're on the East and West Coast, you want to see it in person, that'll be a good opportunity. So thank you guys for joining us again. Hope you had a good time.